Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Wilbur from HamiltonArtsCrawl.ca with your Arts Crawl briefing for May 14th, 2010. We're going to move geographically down the street again from James and Wilson, and then we'll talk briefly about a few things that are happening off James Street North for the crawl. First thing I want to tell you about, other than my own gallery, of course, is the Sonic Onion building. Wonderful facility, stands at 22 Wilson Street, just around the corner from James North. This building, in addition to housing the recording facilities of the Silver Studio, is also home to the Jenna Rose Studio and Blackbird Studios. The Blackbird is a boutique women's fashion design house. It's always open and welcoming, worth a visit on Art Crawl night. They're both Kiki and Buckshot are going to be there tomorrow night. They run the place, and they're showing their 2010 spring fashion collection. I want to tell you about a wonderful building called the Factory Media Arts Center, which is located at 126 James North and contains 3 places that you should really check out. On the ground floor is the factory itself. This month, the factory presents screenings from the Loop Collective. Loop is a collective of filmmakers and media artists formed in Toronto in 1996. They've been screened throughout Canada and internationally. Their programming provides an exhibition of rarely seen masterpieces of underground cinema, as well as contemporary works from current artists. The show is curated by Tyler Tekach. The full program is online at Hamilton Media Arts, all one word, all small letters, hamiltonmediaarts.com. Upstairs on the 3rd floor at 126 is the Sylvia Nickerson Illustration Studio. Sylvia is always there to talk with you, and it's well worth visiting that studio. Also on the 3rd floor with a separate staircase, very odd building. Go up the 2nd floor, and then there's 2 staircases going up to the 3rd. One goes to Sylvia's place, and one goes to the Melanie Gillis Photography Studio. So, and Melanie, most amazing studio space that she opens to the public only on Art Crawl nights. The entire place is a gallery for her stunning work, and you can also study photography with Melanie. She's always there at the studio, happy to speak with you. At 150 James North stands the Loose Cannon Gallery, and this month they have a show by Andrea D. and Matthias Santini titled Behind the City. It's illustration art based around urban themes and politics. Mixed Media, wonderful art supply store at 154 James North, has a show titled Not in My Backyard, consisting of urban abstract pastel works by Gordon Leverton. Mixed Media. At Hamilton Artists Inc., 161 James North, this month they are featuring a show titled The Archive and the Everyday. This is an adjunct visual arts exhibition exploring the themes of the conference that's being held at McMaster University. The conference and art exhibition bring together academics, advocates, artists, and other cultural workers to examine the intersecting fields of archive theory and everyday life. History and Heritage, 165 James North, always has something interesting going on, and this month I think it's very particularly interesting. Show titled Bill, My Brother, My Hero, a moving story of a remarkable boy from Hamilton's North End named Bill Stewart, told by his brother Ed, and using Bill's own photographs that date from the 1930s. The Print Studio is a fantastic artist resource at 173 James Street North. This month they have a show by Ryan Laidman titled Year's End. Laidman tries to portray in his artwork the things that we take for granted every day, the natural, untouched, undisturbed beauty of our landscapes and the environment surrounding us, the spontaneous formations that our landscapes create that we hardly ever notice. Well, Ryan Laidman notices them, and he's got some fantastic photography to show. The Tribal Gallery stands at 174 James North. Always interesting. This month they are featuring paintings by Roger Ferreira and photographs by John McCrecky and Ken Blackbird. Right across the street from the Tribal Gallery stands the Vasco da Gama building. This is an interesting building. It's so decorative that I had to look into it a bit, and I found out that it was originally built in Hamilton as the Orange Hall. Imagine. Anyway, in that building, again, a bunch of interesting things. On the ground floor is the Clay Studio. It's an artist-run studio by Graznia Yokulski. Up on the 3rd floor of the Vasco da Gama building, you'll find the Jessica Roth Studio, featuring a new artist on the walls for each arts crawl. And you'll also find the studio of Victoria Pierce and Deborah Pierce. This is a beautiful working studio, one of my favorites on the street. The old Hotel Hamilton at 195 James North is currently, I think, must be just about finishing their renovations. And they always have something going on in there. This is home. This place is becoming the home to lots of wonderful artists. We come to the Classic Cafe and Bistro Gallery, 222 James North, one of the newer galleries on the street. Well-known area sculptor Martin Kendrick is showing some new paintings that really do illustrate a different side of his work. And there will also be other artists showing in this space, so please drop in and have a look. Cynthia Hill's Blue Angel Gallery stands at 243 James North and always features interesting art from both emerging and established artists. This month the show is titled Hanging with the Best by Linda Tuart, and the show runs till June the 9th. And this month's musical guests at 7 p.m. are the Orchestra and Janice Connors. The Blue Angels a stalwart on James Street North, and they have great stuff going on there all the time. The Academical Hall stands at 242 James North, and here we come to the newest gallery in town, which is my first version of the Movable Feast Street Gallery. You can check it out and see all the art online. You can buy all the art online at hamiltonmovablefeast.info. That's movable without an E. So this one night a month movable gallery is featuring this month The Power of the Tiger Group, featuring the work of the most powerful group in Canadian visual art today. The show consists of 43 incredible pieces by the Tigers, who are Bill Powell, Rick Cook, Robin Lafayette, John Sterling, Eric Ranvo, and the Apprentice Associate member Don Graves. The so-called gallery stands at 244 James Street North, just one door from my own gallery, and it is open and will be featuring the work of Bill Sherwood. Always something fascinating going on in that space. And now we come to Christ Church Cathedral, which is in itself a work of art. And it's always open. They're always happy to have people come in. There's always something going on, some music, something in the church on Arts Crawl night. And tomorrow night, we will see the return, yay, of the Makers Market for 2010. The Artward Art Bar and Gallery at 15 Colburn Street is just off James North and has a show by John Williams titled From Out of Our Past, Stuff They Don't Tell You. These are political cartoons from his ongoing labor history series, illustrations done of historic incidents with brush and ink. The James North studio is at 328 James Street North, and it is the home to the James North Collective. This month, exhibition by collective members of recent work takes over the studio. The Yumi Gallery is Bryce Canberra's wonderful place, standing at 330 James Street North. This month there is a show titled Still Life. Photographic works by Jennifer Hambleton, Leo Davis, Florange Lamotte. This concerns lifelessness in the animal kingdom, and it runs till June 6th. St. Hollywood is at 345 James North, and this is an amazing place. This is the only arts-friendly rock and roll venue that I've ever known. The Workers' Arts and Heritage Center at 51 Stewart Street is just 2 short blocks off of James North once you get down to that end of the street. They have a photography show going on this month called Creative Resistance, celebrating 25 years of Mayworks. Now we come to stuff that's a little bit off the beaten path of the art crawl. And I want to talk to you about the Pearl Company, because the Pearl Company has just hung a fantastic new show of the Hungarian artists of Canada. Really worth seeing. And the Pearl Company is a wonderful resource in Hamilton for artists, theater people, musicians, everybody. And the city of Hamilton seems desperate to try and shut them down because they violate the zoning. Can't do art in a building that's zoned industrial. Anyway, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. But that's the situation they're in, so they really need support of the arts community. They've got shows on there regularly. They've got this wonderful show of Hungarian Arts of Canada, and this is, of course, the place that the Art Bus leaves from. The Pearl Company Art Center is the home and the leap-off point for the Lincoln Alexander Center Art Bus, and this I cannot recommend highly enough. Spend $15 on the Art Bus. It'll be the best $15 you've ever spent in the arts in Hamilton. Bus departs sharp at 6:30. And it leaves from the Pearl Company, which is at the intersection of Stephen Street and King William. And the art bus always goes to the most wonderful galleries. The artists are always there to meet you because they know the bus is coming. They know what time it's coming. There's usually refreshments. There's a couple of nibbles. It is unbelievable. You can actually see artists working at their easels in some of these places. You can meet artists. Can't do better than this. In the evening then winds up at back at the Pearl for an après tour wind down, which includes a tour of the building. Often there's music, sometimes Gary Santucci, whatever's happening on the theater floor. And it's $15, make a reservation, pay at the door. Now this only skims the surface, folks, of the Arts Crawl again. It talks mostly about special events, but all the galleries and art shops will be open, everything will be hopping. It's spring has sprung, there'll be 1 million people out. In fact, there's so much going on at the Arts Crawl that it's becoming impossible to see it all in one night, so you have to make sure you come back again.